Legal Code of the Nonforming Society. Article 1. General Provisions. Section 1. Obedience to the Overseer. The Overseer's authority is absolute. Defying this authority will result in private execution. Section 2. Loyalty to the Nonforming Society. Any act weakening or undermining the state leads to execution. Section 3. Respect for authority. Failure to show respect to officials results in punishment, including labor camps, banishment, or execution. Section 4. Prohibition of treason. Conspiring against the state results in public execution. Section 5. Mandatory service. Refusal to contribute to the state leads to forced labor, banishment, or execution. Article 2. Laws governing bending. Section 6. Prohibition of bending. Bending use is forbidden. Violators face labor camps, banishment, or execution depending on intent. Section 7. Possession of bending scrolls. Possessing, distributing, or teaching bending is prohibited. Offenders face banishment. Section 8. Harboring of benders. Assisting benders leads to public execution. Section 9. Mandatory bender registration. Failure to register benders results in banishment or execution. Article 3. Military and security regulations. Section 10. Unauthorized armed groups. Formation of unauthorized armed groups leads to forced enlistment, labor camps, or execution. Section 11. Desertion. Desertion results in forced labor or public execution. Section 12. Sabotage. Sabotaging state property leads to labor camps, banishment, or execution. Section 13. False allegiance. Feigning loyalty to the NFS results in public execution. Article 4. Social and civil regulations. Section 14. Theft. Theft of state property leads to confinement, labor camps, or execution. Section 15. Fraud. Fraud results in public execution. Section 16. Bribery and corruption. Bribery leads to private execution. Section 17. Dissemination of false information. Misinformation leads to correctional confinement or private execution. Section 18. Idleness and parasitism. Refusal to contribute leads to confinement, forced labor, or banishment. Section 19. Public disorder. Unlawful gatherings lead to private execution. Section 20. Blasphemy against the NFS. Defamation of the state leads to confinement or execution. Article 5. Moral conduct regulations. Section 21. Adultery. Adultery may lead to revocation of state resources or confinement. Section 22. Substance abuse. Substance abuse leads to confinement or forced labor. Section 23. Indecency. Indecency leads to confinement or banishment. Section 24. Treasonous speech. Rebellious speech leads to private execution. Section 25. Defamation of the overseer. Criticism of the overseer leads to private execution. Article 6. Economic regulations. Section 26. Prohibition of private enterprise. Private business participation leads to forced labor. Section 27. Theft of state resources. Theft leads to forced labor or execution. Section 28. Market manipulation. Market disruption leads to forced labor or execution. Section 29. Counterfeiting. Counterfeiting leads to public execution. Article 7. National security and espionage. Section 30. Spying. Spying leads to public execution. Section 31. Illegal border crossing. Unauthorized crossing results in banishment or execution. Section 32. Aiding foreign powers. Assisting foreign powers leads to public execution. Section 33. Possession of forbidden literature. Possession of subversive materials leads to forced labor or execution. Article 11. Liability clause. Section 34. Liability to the state. Offenders marked liability to the state must wear a badge for a duration set by the overseer. Article 12. Punishment classification. Minor punishments. Correctional facility. Lesser infractions or first-time offenses. Moderate punishments. Liability clause. Wearing a badge and enduring public humiliation. Labor camps. State-assigned labor. banishment, expulsion from NFS territory, severe punishments, public execution, execution as a public warning, most severe punishment, private execution, erased from records, family forbidden from mourning, acknowledging the death from a private execution, publicly acknowledging such a death results in private execution.